Hey Exploration Nation, today I'll be checking out a house that's over 100 years old. Let's go see what's inside. And here you can see some of the stone and mortar work. And it looks like they used some of that's used in heating and air work to seal up cracks and things. So originally it looks like that the screen was not here, that this was just a porch, open porch. And you can see the construction of the ceiling in here. Looks like it's tongue and groove. And it looks like there was a porch swing here at one time. Hook there, and a hook there. And from the construction of it, if this was part of the screening in, if they did anything with this, I don't know. This may have been original. I really don't know. But it's old regardless. So I'm thinking that the ceiling in here was original and they just screened it off at some point later on. And more of the old stone work. Get a little closer in on that. Stone and mortar. Alright, start with going in front where the living room is. And it looks like air conditioning was added sometime later, central air at some point. It looks like somebody had like a motorbike in here or something cutting donuts. And that's the old fireplace, and that's been capped off. Looks like it may have been converted to a wood burning stove or maybe a space heater. I don't see any gas connections, so I'm guessing wood burning stove. And again, tongue and groove construction on the ceiling. Looks like tongue and groove. And it does look like the house is being salvaged. The windows are gone. I really wish I could have gotten here when the windows are still here, but as carefully as the windows have been taken out, it looks like they've been salvaged to use in another house being built. And these are the old style windows with the weights inside the frame here in order to counterweight the window so that when you push the window up, it would stay up. That's how they used to do it. And the weights come off of that one. And that one won't turn anymore. But you had them on both sides. And the weights come off of that one. And that one. So, not much counterbalancing going on there. Before air conditioning was put in here, may have had to prop it up. In order to get to the weights, you had to take the window frame apart to get to it. Actually, right here. Okay, you can see the inside of it. I didn't see that first time. And looks like the weights have been cut off of it. Probably when the windows were salvaged so that they could be used in the other house, wherever that is. That's kind of a popular thing now, is salvaging windows and fireplace mantles and things of that nature from old houses and giving new houses a retro look. And here's the mechanism on the other side, the two pulleys. Now, I have been told that the windows in these old houses cannot be duplicated. If there was any of the windows left, I'd be able to show you, but the windows had flaws in them. You could see, if when you look through them, the wavy lines in the glass, sometimes even bubbles in the glass, and I've been told that that cannot be duplicated. So they salvage the windows out of these old houses that are no longer going to be used and use them for a retro look in new constructions. And that's probably what's going on here. As you can see, the windows here have been very carefully removed. And again, the counterweights are gone. This looks like it was a bedroom. A ceiling fan still here, a little droopy, but not much. Not too bad. Now, this is an old electric wall heater, and I've seen plenty of these. Let's see if I can see a brand name on it. And I don't. But these will keep you very warm in the wintertime right here. And a closet, not huge, but that was typical of old houses. And you can see the notch for the, may not be showing up because the glare from the light is bright. Okay. The notch for the bar going across. And at some point they had sliding doors put on it. But closets on these old houses were small because people didn't have a whole lot of clothes. As a matter of fact, houses built in the 1800s were not as deep as this. They were very shallow and maybe just had a board across the back with a few nails, and people would hang their clothes along the wall in the back of it. And the reason is they didn't have a bunch of clothes like people do now. Didn't need a bunch of closet space. I always like to check out the doorknobs. That's that's good right there. And another little closet. Nothing in it. And it looks like a linoleum floor under this tile that somebody put down. This looks like an adhesive type tile. Yeah, here you can get a better look at it. They just put it on top of the linoleum floor, which was popular years ago. It was popular in the 70s. And even in my house, built in the late 80s, I've got some of the linoleum floor myself. Now it looks like a kitchen island was put here. Now, in these old houses, when this house was built, turn that light up somewhat, the kitchen, there may have been two kitchens, sometimes there was just one, but you had a summer kitchen that was in another building detached from the house, so there wouldn't be such a heat buildup in the house from cooking. And some houses had two kitchens, one that was actually in the house for use during the wintertime, so they could use the heat from it, and then the summer kitchen that was in another building back from the house. So when this house was built, it was going to be one of those two situations. This may have been the winter kitchen with the summer kitchen elsewhere, and we haven't checked out the rest of the property yet, so we will in just a minute. But I doubt seriously that this was the only kitchen. My guess is, as small as the house is, This room here may not have been a kitchen at all originally, but I don't know, I'm not sure. So it could have been the winter kitchen, and there could have been another kitchen elsewhere. The summer kitchens weren't very big, so it's entirely possible. And there may be the remains of it out there somewhere. We'll just have to go check it out. Now, when the house was plumbed, the washing machine went here, and that's either a stove or a 220-volt dryer, one of the two. Looks like a stove plug, not sure. But being next to the washing connections, I think that's going to be a dryer. And this is going to be where it was vented. Okay, that settled that question. That was the dryer. Now, you saw the electrical plug there. When this house was built, it did not have electricity, more than likely. I doubt electricity was in this area, and in 1917, not that many people had it. I'll mark your switch type wall switch, and at some point they put in a pass-through from the kitchen, so this was apparently the dining room. And that's an old vent for a furnace. I don't know if there's a downstairs to this or not. I don't think there is. I think it's just a crawl space. And it looks like the television went over here, but with that pass-through, this was the dining room. But maybe that was just the cable run. I don't know. But a house this old, rooms were repurposed for different things. This could have been the dining room. I think it was pretty evident that it was. But it could have been converted later to a sitting room, television. So each room has probably had different uses through the years. Nice little wall switch there. Door closed easy. A little breeze blowing and air pressure changed and it closed by itself. Now here's the room right off of the front porch. And it looks like a little vandalism going on here. I don't know. Maybe some copper thieves looking for copper, and they ran into some good old-fashioned construction here. Probably after the wiring that went to that wall heater. But they ran into a cul-de-sac, served them right. They ought not be doing that in the first place. And of course you can hear the smoke detector. This isn't the one, but there's a smoke detector that's still dying somewhere. We'll find it sooner or later. Now you can hear the clicking of that wall switch. This one is older than the others that we've seen. That's why I've been trying them. Not that there be any power on the place, but just seeing if any of them clicked. Yeah, and here's another place where they pull the wall off of that. That's not drywall, that's just paneling. You can see it got that paneling painted over. You can see the lines in it. The old 1970s paneling. And you can see some more sliding doors that came off of the closet here. See the track up there. Now, sliding doors got to be rather popular in the 60s for things like closets and other small areas like that. I'm not saying they weren't popular before the 60s. There's an old house built in the 1800s that I filmed not too long ago that had sliding doors that opened into a living room. Now, there's another name for those kind of doors. If I can find it, while the camera finds its focus, if I can find it, I'll put it in the description if I can find out what they're called. Sliding doors isn't it when they're used to open into another room in a large house. But as you can see, the little finger holes right here are very reminiscent of the 60s. And so I think that's how old these doors are. And here, once again, you can see some of the homemade work, as I like to call it. A lot of times people did a lot of the work on the houses themselves and cut their own wood pieces, and sometimes built the house themselves along with the help of neighbors. A lot of times these old houses were not built by carpenters. They were built by just people who had to do what they had to do to get a place to live. And here you can see windows have been removed. Once again, very carefully. Doesn't really look like vandalism. If it was vandalism, they wouldn't have been just taken out. They'd have been broken to smithereens and lost forever. So at least I'm glad that they're going to be used on another house somewhere. Now here's another fireplace. And if you can take a look here, there's a line going right down through there and comes across just above the top of this and down. This used to be a fireplace, and it looks like it was converted either to a space heater or another wood-burning stove. Let's take a look in there. We can see, I'm not so sure we can get a decent look in there. It doesn't look like we can. It looks like some old soot and stuff still in there. But from the soot around here, this looks like soot right here. Looks like this is another wood-burning stove. Which means these folks stay plenty warm in the wintertime. And another old closet with some more homemade cut pieces right here. At it. Let's turn the light up and get a look at the little bit of the roof construction. And that's repairs were made at some point. And as you can see, the chimney no longer goes through the roof right there. It was sounds like it's raining. But this is like another roof was put on at some point, a higher roof. Either that or part of the chimney was taken out, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's another roof. And at some point they put these in, probably late 80s, early 90s. I have these in my house, and my house was built in 1989, and this is what the builder put in. So late 80s, somewhere along there, early 90s. I hope that's just a passing shower. The rain wasn't supposed to start until this afternoon. There is a possibility of some rough weather coming too. There's a tornado touchdown in Tennessee, not a real long way from here. Okay. This may not be a good idea, but I wonder what those were. That's interesting. With it not leafed out, I can't tell what kind of bush that was. But anyway, the roll of toilet paper still here. It's amazing what you find still in some of these places. And a razor that's not all that old. And some spare parts. Yeah, a couple of razors. And we got to get in our commode check. Everywhere I go, I find one, and it's not necessarily in a house either. For those of you that have been following me any length of time, you know that I'm liable to find a commode anywhere. In the woods, in marble mines, you name it. And in here, where is that? I don't know. But we're real close to that fire alarm, that smoke detector, so I apologize for the noise for the time being. This looks like this is where a medicine cabinet went. Kind of an odd place, but space is limited in here. This was not originally a bathroom. There's most likely an outhouse. Well, most likely I can tell you that there was an outhouse. Let's see how far down that goes. Not far. You can see the foundation. The supports are stone. And this floor rotted out, so it looks like the bathtub was leaking and they didn't know it. Because as you can see, the roof is in good shape. It is not leaking and rotting in here like they usually are. It's a Mancessa toilet. Let's see. I don't see a date on it. I like to try to find dates on anything that would put a time frame on something. And that's not hugely old either. This toilet, of course, from more recent years, that's a 1.6 gallon tank. They used to be 3 gallons years ago, but they are illegal now. So I don't remember exactly when the 3 gallon tanks were made illegal. I don't know. And I was wrong about the placement of the toilet. It wasn't over there. Here's the waste pipe. It was right here. So this would have been where the sink was. And the old medicine cabinet was right there. And that something roll of toilet paper still here. And the air conditioning in it, of course, was taken out. Probably to be used somewhere else. There it is. And however long this house has been vacant, that is still chirping. And this is an old light fixture. This one's been around for a while. That was like something out of the 60s itself. It's still usable. And let's see, do we have breakers or fuses? We have breakers. Yeah, island, washing machine, well pump. Okay, they were not on county water here, they were on a well. Yeah, dryer, stove, water heater, air conditioning, and 4 breakers for the heat. So, don't see date on that. Sometimes you'll find a date on these. It's a General Electric panel. Been there for a little while, but as I said before, there would not have been electricity in this house originally. That came along later. And some old, looks like a sink or something was here. And check this out. Now that is either a well, which is most likely, or an old cistern. And for those of you who don't know, a cistern was an old device, for lack of a better term right now, used to catch rainwater, to use for drinking water and so on. And it was shaped something like this. Houses used to have them. Some houses used to have them. As old as this house, this could have been a cistern, but as short as it is, it doesn't look like this was taken down at any point. So I'm guessing that this was a well, which this was pretty cool to have a well inside like this. I can't, yeah, it's been bolted shut. I would love to have a look in there. Somebody's already been here. I think yeah, there is a heating and air duct that runs through there. But that was really something, to have the well here and not have to go out from the house in all kinds of weather in order to get water. And I have never seen that. Now, I've seen a cistern built into a house, but I've never seen a well built into one. Which it doesn't mean they weren't common, or more common. It just means I haven't seen it. And here's some of the old shingle siding. Seen plenty of that in a day. Well, this is quite a house. And even though there is no furniture or anything left, and nothing that can be seen, let me turn that light down some, and nothing that I've found that will put a date on when it was vacated, still, this is a neat little find. I pass by it all the time, going to and from work, and never came back to check it out. Wished I'd gotten here sooner, before the windows were gone and so on, or to see more of it. But this property was sold by the estate of the man who passed away to an investment company. So one of two things is going to happen here. They're either going to refurbish the house with more modern, updated windows and stuff, which they should. This house is in extremely good shape, especially to not have been occupied lately. At least a year. And the owner didn't live here a year ago when he passed away. So I have an idea it's been vacant longer than that. They'll either do that, and I hope they do, because the house is in too good a shape. It's very solid. Very solid. And it could be refurbished without a whole huge bunch of work, tons of work. But then again, you have building codes to comply with. Building codes may prevent some of it, so it may not be feasible. All too often, places like this are torn down and lost forever. And again, this place was built during the First World War, 1917. So it would be a real shame for it to be gone at this point. But I wanted to get here and check it out before anything happened to it, in the event that it is demolished. Alright, let's slide out. The rain has stopped. That was a passing shower. And something used to keep the cold air out under the door. I'll go another way. I just don't like disturbing things. Just leave them as is. Okay, go back out the way we came in and see what else is out here. Okay, the rain has stopped for the moment. It's supposed to be more on the way. It is very warm out here. It is around 70 degrees, almost mid-December. So let's go ahead and get this checked out here, see what we have. Now, the garage. Let's take a look at the roof line before we look at the garage. Now, I can't tell if that roof was added later. There's a loudspeaker up there. Check that out. Well, I guess when somebody in the house wanted to get in touch with somebody out of the house before cell phones, that was what they did. I don't know where the PA system went that fed it. Of course, it'd be long gone like everything else is in there. And I just saw something. There's a newspaper tube envelope in here. It has been rained on so much. I was looking for a date. That's probably a bill for a newspaper. Okay, back to the garage. I just wanted to see if there's any way to tell if that roof was a later addition over the top of that chimney or what. Now this right here, I don't know what this was. May have been another well, I don't know. Kind of looks like it. Maybe. That's just pure speculation. Now right here is a clothesline hole. Now this is the way I grew up before the days of dryers. You can see some of the clotheslines still on it. And I don't see the other pole anywhere around. But this is the way I grew up. We hung our clothes out on the clothesline to dry. And it was a nice fresh smell that you can't duplicate with fabric softeners and all the other things they have on the market now to try to duplicate that smell. It was very nice and fresh smelling scent that went with it from the clothes drying outside. Well, found another Georgia rat. And I mentioned this in another video. I call those Georgia rats because folks in Georgia call those little field mice and deer mice rats. So I call that a Georgia rat. Now these shelves here were apparently homemade. You can tell by the way they're shaped. And I don't know why they were angled in like that. Somebody playing darts at some point. But I don't know why they were angled. Maybe this will make it a little easier to get to things. I don't know. Just a little unusual. More shelves back here. And so this was probably somebody's little workshop in addition to a garage. Alright, this is a little storage building. Hopefully there's none other living things in here besides me. A lot of spiders have made their homes in here. My goodness, look at the size of that web. That was either a whole team of spiders or one the size of a dog. If it was the latter, I don't want to meet it. A little storage bin over there. Home built. I like seeing all the homemade stuff instead of going. You didn't have quite the places to go, like Home Depot and Lowe's now, in order to get things. People used to make stuff, used to build it themselves. Come around back and see what we got here. Oh, we got a doghouse. Looks like there used to be another one right here. Now, speaking of not having places to go and get things, this is plastic, all right? So they went somewhere and got this. And it looks like the dog chewed on this a time or two. Maybe didn't like being out here. Or maybe it was just one that chewed a lot. Let's see. But they took the other one, whoever they is. Now you can tell this old storage building's been here for a while. Look at the foundation on it. It's made out of stone. The old barn. We wade through up here. Now, if this were summertime, you have to be real careful in this. The cardinal just flew out through there. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to venture in here. And this barn's been here for a while. Those supports look like cedar right there. Cedar will literally last forever. Now I don't know what was kept in this barn. There's a loft up there. You can see the upper level, and when we were coming up on it, you could see the door from the upper level. Probably where hay was stored. And looks like maybe a little bit of hay, or it might just be nature taking it back, one of the two. Let's go around and see what else we can see. There may be a way to see in. Going this end down here. Briars everywhere. Okay, here we go. And it looks like livestock was kept back here. And I don't know where that is from. It's from a porch somewhere. Might have been from the front porch on this old house before they put the screening up on it. And there you can see the end of it is notched. That is old. And I don't see another one in here. So there might have been just a pair of them on the front porch before they did anything with it. I don't know. I didn't see anywhere on the porch where something like that would go. Who knows? That might even be from another home place out here somewhere. And the roof on all of this stuff is in good shape. This isn't leaking in here. You can see this is dry. Tin roofs or something else that will last a lifetime. Alright, let's go around and keep looking. Tackle the bars again. Another look at it. Yeah, now off that main section looks like somebody's been in here and salvaged the tin off of the roof of the main part of the barn. So salvaging operations are going on, or have, and they've gotten all that they want. Now, remember what I told you a while ago? If you've been following my channel anywhere, I tend to find commodes literally everywhere and anywhere in the woods. You name it, marble mines. Well, commode check. Here's two of them. Other explorers find Christmas stuff. I find commodes. I mean, you know, I don't know what's up with that. That's where the term commode check came from. The Retromanic kind of hung that on me when I kept on finding commodes in the oddest places. So it's been kind of a running thing ever since. That's the story behind it. See? Barn out here. Commodes. Okay. And this side here has been, looks like somebody had ideas or has ideas about using old wood. There's also a market for the old wood here. You can't duplicate through a manufacturing process aged wood, so there's a market for that too. And there's some really old folding chairs right there. Had to sit a lot of hours in those things. Oh boy. Now right here looks like stalls for livestock. So as you can see, this wasn't a huge farm. At least not that I can tell. This might have been for a cow, for a horse, you know. I don't know. I thought that might have been a feeding trough of some kind. It's a vertical shelf, but it looks, they may have used it for feeding trough, may have repurposed it. Before repurposing was a thing, people used to repurpose a lot of things. So it looks like that originally this was for the family, and they probably sold some things along the way for extra money. Okay. Well, there's a way to get right up here. Let's take a look at that before we head on and see what else there is to see. Nothing much here. But I thought I had been smelling a little something the whole time I was back here. And this is what I found. A little unnerving. And of course, other wild animal scavengers have scattered the bones. Okay, I see what it is. It was a deer. Now, unless that's, the weather has done it to it, the black and white is kind of strange, because you can see that leg is still brown, so I don't know what all of this is. But as narrow as that jawbone is, that's probably what all this is going to be. Now, how it met its end, I don't know. It may have just come to the end of its life here. Who knows? But I was smelling a little something. This has been here for a long time, so it's not awful. And I looked over here and saw that rib cage, and I thought, oh boy. You know, I'm coming back up to the house from the field, and speaking of unnerving things to find, here's something else. Don't know what's going on here, but take a look. Now, it's a little too big to be one, but that doesn't look like a grave to you? Oh man. Put that together with the remains of the deer back there, and you know, this could be real creepy. You used your imagination a little bit, although it might not take all that much imagination either. while shooting some B-roll. Just as soon as I started my camera, wind started blowing, and I had a door slam inside from the wind blowing. I mean, it slammed like somebody had slammed it as hard as they could. So, yeah, at night, this could get creepy. Although I would love to be here at night. It'd be awesome.